What is my purpose? Why am I here? I want to have meaning in my life. I feel tired, worn out, pulled in so many different directions. I feel the pressure of life on my shoulders, and I feel like I am the one that has to make all the decisions at work, in my personal life, for my family. I have all of this stress on me. How do I have a deep, meaningful relationship with my partner, with others, with spirit, with God, with the universe, with myself especially? And these are all questions that I receive from my clients, and I'm going to answer all those questions right here and now as we sit here and chat. And this is what we're going to chat about, and this is what you can expect. I have deconstructed how I've moved from hateful to grateful. I have investigated and truly know now how I am living my chosen path, and I'm truly happy. We will discuss the 5 steps that I took to live my chosen path, to move from hateful to grateful, to reignite the spark in my relationship, and really just to turn my life around for good. The top 3 reasons we will also be covering of why you really aren't hearing that divine guidance, why you're feeling so tired, worn out, pulled in many different directions, why you're just not happy. We'll be covering those 3 reasons why you aren't, and then also the number 1 misconception of why you don't have that spark for life and why you really truly aren't living and thriving. So I am Sarah Sparks. Great to meet you. It's nice to meet you. I am the soul's guide to freedom and the co-founder of Create the Spark. Co-founder meaning my husband and I founded it together. It was his brilliant idea to have Create the Spark because our last name is Sparks. That's not just my stage name. I am actually Sarah Sparks and my husband is Craig Sparks. I have, like I said, decoded my life, where I went wrong, and what I'm doing now to live a life in alignment with my divine guidance and have this fulfilling, loving marriage relationship to the man of my dreams, which I'll get to in a little bit about the man from my dreams, and on how I absolutely love the life that I came here to live. I am vulnerable and open and sometimes a little too honest. So you're going to get the whole real me during this chat. And there's your warning. Make sure that you have some paper and pen because as I'm sharing stories, as we are going through this process, there will be an opportunity for you to have aha moments. Typically when people are connecting with me, there is a heighten in their supernatural intuitive senses. So if something comes through for you, if you're getting this nudge, tap on the shoulder, gut feeling, and this feeling of moving forward in some direction, take note of it. Or if there are some thoughts that you feel like are coming to you, make note of it too. If there's things that I may say and share with you that you're just like, no, I'm not getting that, write it down and connect with me. Let's have that conversation. Yes, this is me video recording to you, but this is also a dialogue. And so please feel free to connect with me after you have watched this, after you have digested this information. So many sharp, successful, dedicated, intellectual, amazing professionals who I have the pleasure of working with and connecting with and sharing my story with are feeling pulled in so many different directions. It may leave you feeling stuck. And to keep everything together, we know something has got to give. And many of us give of ourselves first. Am I right? Yeah. So we sacrifice ourselves and our happiness, our health, and our joy first to serve others. And the consequence is you may start feeling stuck, resentful, tired, worn out, frustrated, and it can have an effect on your relationship and overall well-being. I want this information to really sink in for you, to know how you can improve your overall mental health and well-being. And I want you to know that there is good news and that it doesn't have to stay the way that it is in whatever you are experiencing. You can take 100% responsibility for your life and create the life that you came to Earth to have. So that kind of reminds me of my own story, which I'll share with you. From the outside looking in, my life was perfect. I had a career that was moving forward. I was in grad school working towards my master's in public administration. I was married, lived in a little utopian community, owned my own home, had no debt, except for the home loan. If we purchased any cars, we would just pay for it upright. It's kind of my jam, how I operate. My ex-husband and I were making a combined 6-figure income. We went on mini getaways. I was fit. I completed my first half marathon, and I had everything I ever wanted at the age of 26, or so I thought. Except from the inside out, I was dying. I was lonely. I was so lonely. Loves, this feeling of being alone while married is the worst feeling, at least for me. And if I could help others to not feel alone or this way anymore, then I will do whatever it is in my power to make that happen for you. I feel like support is not necessarily understanding everything that you've gone through. That support isn't even agreeing with all of your decisions. But support is letting another person know that you're not alone. I'm here. I'm listening. Tell me what's going on. I get messages. Yesterday, I received 3 different messages from on Facebook Messenger, in text, in email form, all stating different things. And basically the general thing was, I haven't told anybody else this, but it feels so good to know that somebody else can understand. And it was on 3 different topics. I don't need to go into those topics because those are all private stuff, but there are 3 different topics, and I may not have understood it completely, and I may not have agreed with all the decisions that these people were making, but they felt comfortable enough to share those intimate details with someone, and just the relief to know that they're not alone gave them the encouragement they needed to move forward. And that's really what I want. I want you to move forward. I want you to move from wherever you are now, whatever those emotions are, to where you want to be. So I was depressed, but no one knew it because I like to hide all my true feelings inside. That was me. Now not anymore, which I told you I was vulnerable and open and sometimes a little too honest. I remember thinking, how selfish am I to be really feeling this depressed? I was planning to end my life. I had it all written out. I had how I was going to do it, when I was going to do it. And the thought just kept coming to me was, how selfish am I? I have all of these amazing things, and people want to be me and live in the house I want to live in, have the cars, have this relationship, everything. But literally on the inside, I was dying. And what I learned is that it wasn't that I wanted to end my life. It was that I no longer wanted to live how I was living. I no longer wanted to be that person that I just had grown to hate. I had put this idea of who I needed to be, how I needed to dress, how I needed to talk, my hairstyle, everything I did for others. The music I listened to, the car I drove, everything. I wanted to go back to when I was 19 years old, right before I had changed everything for a man. I wanted to stop being this fake version of myself. I wanted to fully step into and live this dream that God, spirit, the universe gave me when I was 18 years old. So when I was 18 years old, I was feeling quite overwhelmed by all the pressures of what others were asking me. Like, I was to make all of these major life decisions about my future all before going to college. And I had honestly no idea what I wanted my life to look like. And the questions just kept coming. Where are you going to college? What are you going to study? Do you want to be a nonprofit? Do you want to be in for-profit? Do you want to work for the public sector? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you want to be married? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do with your life? I mean, the amount of questions that were coming to me when I was 18 years old in my senior year of high school, it was just way too overwhelming for me. And I'm guessing that at some point in your life, you do not know, or you may not know even now, what you really wanted your life to look like. You heard that thud. I was laying down my iPad because it was starting to make noises. So let's get back. Just didn't want you to think something had fallen down. And you may have just felt this overwhelm of not really knowing what you wanted your life to look like. And so although I was 18 at the time, I had it again when I was 28. So just relate to that feeling of being overwhelmed by all the pressures that others sometimes put on you to make about your future. Please message me, connect with me, comment if you can about how you can relate to this. So because I was feeling overwhelmed by all of these decisions, I didn't know where to turn to. I felt a lot of pressure on myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect and have this perfect life. And so one night I just had enough and I decided to chat with God, which was actually like a odd thing for me. I was raised Catholic, and I was still in the Catholic faith when I was 18. I was taught that I needed to go to a priest in order to have a conversation. But inside me, I always felt like I could have a relationship or have this conversation with what I now call spirit or the universe, God, if you will, whatever resonates with you, divine guidance. And so that one night, I just had enough. And I said to God, just show me. Tell me in a dream, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going? What does my future look like? What do you want me to do? I don't know. I have no idea. You just show me. And that night I had a dream. I was walking along the beach. So I'm going to set it up for you. In the dream, I was walking along the beach. There was white sand, seashells. It was almost like I was crunching on the seashells. And it wasn't like sand that you sunk into. It was almost like it was hard sand that you were walking on top of, that the water had compressed. The water was to my right. The sun was setting, and it was also to my right. So I guess I would be heading south on this sandy beach. I could hear the seagulls over top of me, the waves crashing. The water was this crystal blue, green shade. I mean, the vibrancy of the sun was just, I mean, you could see all the different layers of colors as the sun was setting. It was this bright, vibrant orange. Now, this was in my dream. Like, I was dreaming in color and all these details. I could smell that salty, humid air. And it felt like home. It felt like this is where I was supposed to be all along. And about 12 feet in front of me, there was a man that had dark hair, broad shoulders, a tan neck. He was about 6 feet tall. I'm 5'9". So in the dream, I remember feeling super excited that this man was going to be taller than me, because for some reason, unbeknownst to me, shorter men than myself were attracted to me. And I was just like, give me someone who's taller than me. I want to wear those heels. I know. I remember having these thoughts in my dream. It was crazy. It was so real. I believed it for months. Like, I woke up from that dream. Oh, by the way, and I had this dream at least once a week for an entire year. I felt like that was the answer to my prayer. And I know it was the answer to my prayer. I felt like it was just so easy that this information was given to me. Like, I asked for it and I received. But I believed that life had to be hard and that I had to work really hard for what I wanted. I didn't think I would be special enough to have God, spirit, the universe just talk to me and help me out. I mean, I was just dreaming, right? And was the dream actually real? And would I be really crazy to believe in this dream and move forward with it? I became so obsessed with this dream that the next day, throughout the summer, I mean, weeks after weeks, every man that I would meet, every person that I would pass on a sidewalk, I married a man who I knew was not the man from my dream. I did not meet my ex-husband on a beach. I knew he was not home to me. I knew that he was not the person I was supposed to be with. But my intuition radar at the time of having this dream was more like a 1 or 2 out of 5. And 1 being, not so much, and 5 being, heck yeah, I am tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And I wasn't. I felt like I would be completely crazy to believe that life could be that easy. So I'm curious to know, where are you currently in your intuition scale? Are you 1? Yeah, not so much. I barely ever listen to my divine guidance. Or 5, heck to the yeah, I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on to my divine guidance. Let me know. Write it down. Let me know. I want to hear. So here's what I believe. I believe that we all can connect to our divine guidance, and I believe we all choose to listen or to not listen. And at the time of the dream, I was choosing not to listen. I just thought it just was way too easy. And I believe one of the problems we face is we don't know how to activate or tap into our divine guidance, which really contributes to, which I'll get to, which really contributes to my overall feeling and depression when I wasn't tapping into it. My clients know with their whole being that this divine guidance exists. They just don't know how to truly activate it. And that's when our journeys meet. I believe that when we stop tuning into our inner wisdom, our intuition, our gut feeling, what I call divine guidance, when we stop listening to that, we become hateful. It's like that inner wisdom within us is our grounding centering point. And the more that we turn it off and say, nah, I don't need to take that right, I'll go left. I don't want that orange, I want that chocolate cake. I don't need to wear this shawl, I want to wear a blazer. I'm going to cut my hair short even though I know I'm supposed to have it long. I'm going to color my hair, whatever it is, we just keep denying it, keep pushing it aside. I feel like I know, maybe based on my own experience, but you have your own experience. You tell me, how are you feeling about this? Is that inner wisdom, that intuition that you have, and the further away that you move and keep denying it, the further you get into frustration, resentful, hatred, depression, revenge, anger, whatever. And then the more that you tap into that that true self, that inner wisdom, that intuition, that divine guidance, the more that you pay attention to it, the further up in emotions that you go into relief, understanding, peace, happiness, joy, abundance of everything. And I also noticed that we begin to build walls of protection around ourselves when we are stopping that divine guidance. But what happens is when we build those walls, what happens is when those walls come up, it does keep everyone out, and it also keeps you safe, but it also stops that flow of life. It stops love and joy and peace and happiness from coming to you and for you. What I have learned is that there's top three reasons you really aren't listening to that divine guidance, why you're feeling that tired, stuck, worn out, pulled in many different directions, all those. The three reasons you aren't really hearing that divine guidance are the three reasons why I also stopped believing in my dream. And I started mentioning them to you already. So here they are. Write these down. Number one, it is just too good to be true. Wow, that was easy. I mean, isn't life supposed to be hard, work hard, play hard mindset? But we stop ourselves from listening to our divine guidance, from being joyful, from being happy, because we simply don't believe it's possible. I've had clients who really want to tune in, tapped in, have this easy, effortless, enjoyable life, but they keep focusing on how their life is right now. And they are like, well, what I really want is too far away, so why even try? Well, it has to be, you have to work really hard to get it. And we believe it couldn't possibly be that easy. We believe life is supposed to be difficult, and this simple tool would make life just too easy. This belief that life could be made easier and more enjoyable goes against what we've been taught. Yes? Do you relate? So that's a reason why we stop believing in what we really want. Number two, you think you know better. The I don't need you attitude. Trust me, I've been there. That's why I say it with this attitude. We also stop ourselves from listening to this gut feeling we have that is our inner knowing, because we fear it. We fear if we listen, we will be crazy. We fear if we give into it, we will be weak. Because I know that I was this strong, independent woman who got it all going on. And so I don't need you. I got it. Don't worry about me. Yet we are feeling alone. I was feeling alone because I got it. I kept pushing everybody away, having those walls up. Yet we fear we can't do it on our own. We fear we can't always have it together. We fear there is no one who will be able to understand what we're really going through. You don't know me. I said that to my now husband the first night we met. Oh, heaven. So we fear nothing we do will ever be good enough. And we fear we are losing it all. We fear the world can't go on without us. We fear we have to be in control or it just won't happen. That's the second reason of the overall. All those fears is just the overall. You think you know better. I don't need you. That's the belief that really stops us from living the life that we want to be living and having this mindset of health and wealth and joy and happiness. Number three, you judge yourself and others, and this judgment is stopping you. Pretty self-explanatory. Think of times when you have judged yourself, have judged others, and just the judgment alone really just stop us from moving forward. But all these fears are simply judgments we place on ourselves, and these fears and judgments are what are stopping us. So when is it time to get out of our own way? Is it now? Today sometime? Tomorrow? When? Take a moment and ask yourself, when is it time for me to get out of my own way? Breathe in for a second. That's a lot. It's a lot. I get it. And I'm not just saying I've been there to bring you some sort of artificial comfort, but literally I've been there. I wouldn't be sharing this information with you if I was some sort of lying freak. I truly, literally wanted to end my life. I've gotten divorced. I hated myself. I could not look at myself in the mirror. I had no idea who I was. And after deconstructing everything and reevaluating my entire life, it has come down to 5 steps. And I'm going to share them with you right now. So get out that pen. Are you ready? Super simple, super easy. And people who have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on therapy, on education, on meditations, on counseling, on all the things to help put your life back together, get a little bit irritated that it could be this simple. And I totally get it, but this is how God, Spirit, the universe wants us to really live in this easy, effortless, enjoyable way. I thought that it had to be really, 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 really difficult, but that's not true. So let's keep it simple, and I'm going to share with you these 5 steps. 5 steps on how I now live my chosen path, how I reignited the spark in my marriage, in my relationships, even with my children, with friends, with family. It's not just with my marriage. And also 3, how I really just turned my life around from that hateful to grateful. You ready? All right. Number 1, allow. Number 2, ask. So you got allow, ask. Number 3, receive. Number 4, trust. And number 5, act. Got them? Allow, ask, receive, trust, and act. Simple, easy, right? So why doesn't everyone do it? That is also a question that I get quite frequently after clients go through, because there's how to listen to your divine guidance, which is allow, ask, receive, trust, act. That is an e-course that many people are able to take, and they have enjoyed. It triggers a lot of things that happen, that come up in your life. So there's that warning for you. But people after going through this are like, well, why doesn't everybody know this? Or if people are working one-on-one with me, or in the How to Live Your Chosen Path group program, they're like, all right, you just laid it out straight with us. Why doesn't everyone be doing this? And I believe that we just don't know how to activate our divine guidance. So we don't know how to allow, or how to ask, or what to ask, or we don't know how we receive. Or are we trusting, or who are we trusting? Are we trusting ourselves? Are we trusting the divine? Are we trusting others? And acting. So I will also give you access to a chart. It will be part of a freebie if I'm able to do that. I believe I am. And it will be a chart on how to listen to your divine guidance, the allow, ask, receive, trust, act, and little description of each, so that way you can practice allow, ask, receive, trust, and act. It really is practice. Practice equals progress. And what is most important right now is for you to understand the correlation between connecting to that divine guidance, connecting with these 5 steps, and connecting and knowing yourself, so then you can connect with your partner, with relationships, and to truly live your chosen path, live that life that you came here to live. So allow. What are you making yourself available to? Write that question down. What are you making yourself available to? Are you making yourself available to receive goodness, abundance? Are you breathing? Are you quieting your mind? Or are you making yourself available to drama, fear, concerned, overwhelmed, the world? what other people are thinking about you, other people's reactions. What are you making yourself available to? What are you allowing into your life? Because these 5 steps aren't just how to listen to your divine guidance. They are also, are you allowing your partner to show up just how he or she wants to show up right here and now? Are you allowing others to be themselves, or are you trying to impress upon others your agenda and your opinion and your manipulation? Are you allowing goodness into your life? We'll just keep it simple. What are you allowing into your life? Ask. What questions are you asking? Are you most likely, you may be, because I was this way. I was the researcher. I had to research every single detail of everything and get on the internet and blah, blah, blah. That's me avoiding putting up those walls to really trusting that divine guidance, that inner wisdom, trusting others to even ask. So for instance, I was having back issues yesterday, and the muscles in my back were really tense. I could have researched like back strain, food toxicity that may reside in my lower back. I could have looked up Chinese medicine and at what hour is different organs processing the different emotions. Is there emotion that is attached to my back? Yada, yada. I could have done all the research. Or I could have tapped into my inner wisdom and just said, okay, I asked, this is what I did. What's going on with my back? Why is it so tense? What is it that you're trying to share with me? Which leads us to receiving. So if you're looking to receive money in your life, look at how well you receive guidance from others, for advice from others. Receive love. How do you receive love? How do you receive compliments, gifts? Oh, what else? Receiving. So if you want to receive divine guidance, what senses? I audibly hear. Receive comfort and support and love and creativity and inspiration. How are you receiving? Are you receiving? I had a client who every time she felt goosebumps or touch on her cheek, she knew that divine spirit was near, and she's like, I need to tune in. I had another client who is a naturalist. And so whenever she was out in nature, she was having odd animals come up to her, and she's like, Sarah, what's going on? I'm like, well, you're receiving through animals. So just check in to see how you receive. Trust. Are you trusting yourself? Are you trusting others? Are you trusting the universe? Trust is a whole gamut of things, and that really correlates with some limiting beliefs, which this is not what this talk is about. Just giving you overview of making sure that you are connecting in the correlation between your divine guidance, your own mental well-being, a connection in knowing yourself. All right. So trust, check in. Are you trusting yourself? Are you trusting the universe? Are you trusting God? Are you trusting others? Where are you at with trust? Are you trying to control everything because you really don't want to trust? Just check in with yourself. Make yourself aware. Act. When you receive information, do you take action immediately? Where on that scale are you taking action? Do you overthink everything, or do you take action immediately? Just check in, have an awareness. There are 3 stages of growth: awareness, understanding, and knowing. So just have an awareness of each of these steps of knowing where you are and where you want to go. All right. All right. So my next point is the number one misconception and reason why you don't really have that spark for life anymore, and why you don't allow, ask, receive, trust, and act. You want to know it? Here comes the truth bomb. It's vulnerability. You aren't willing to be vulnerable because vulnerability sometimes is misconceived as a weakness. And women and men both don't want to be weak or seen as weak. We really want to be seen through our partner's eyes, through our coworkers, through everyone, really be seen. And you may not recognize that because that's more of a subconscious soul thing. But really, you want to have a connection. You really want to be seen for who you really are and allow for all those walls to crumble down. I don't know how many people I've worked with that is just like, I just want somebody to hold me. I want somebody to see me. I want someone to understand me. But in order for you to be held and understood and seen, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. And I don't mean share all the nitty-gritty details of your whole life, but apologize when you need to apologize. So there's a portion of a program that I do, How to Live Your Chosen Path. And one of the weeks is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and that we're taught how not to forgive because we have a war of pride. That's part of vulnerability. I hope that you are able to take away from this and our time together these 5 steps of allow, ask, receive, trust, and act. And the 3 reasons why you aren't it is just too good to be true. You think you know better. I don't need you. And all that fear and judgment, and that you judge yourself and others, and this judgment is really stopping you. So I'm going to ask you to have an awareness. Pay attention to what you're giving your attention to. Are you being concerned about what others are thinking of you? Are you trying to control the past, the future? Are you worrying about the past or future? Where are you at currently? And our next steps together is, if any of this resonates with you, send me a message. Go to www.sarahsparks.love, click on Connect with Us, type in your name, email address, tell me a bit about your story and why you're interested in connecting with me. I will respond within 24 hours. And to schedule a free discovery session, then you may be wondering, what in the world is a discovery session, Sarah Sparks? And it's just 30 minutes, a private conversation between you and I, and we will chat about what is it that you really want? Where are you now? Where do you want to go? What are the changes you desire? And if we're a good fit to work together, we'll see where that takes us and what is available for us to work together. Simple, easy, and so worth your time because it's free. And what I know and what Spirit keeps sharing with me is that you must take action on the information that you are receiving right here, right now. So if you're feeling this nudge or pull or push, for goodness sakes, just take action. Remember, allow, ask, receive, trust, and act. Many people at this point, when they get this information, want to overthink it and analyze it. But that's not really what you should be doing. You would be missing the whole point. In order to shift that consciousness and shift your true well-being, tap into who you really are, connect with that inner wisdom, allow, ask, receive, trust, and act. I'm here to support you, love on you, guide you. I wish you nothing but the very best. I look forward to connecting with you. Please feel free, again, to go to my website, www.sarahsparks.love. Click on Connect with Us, and let's chat. So much love to you. Take care.